On October 4th, the West Bloomfield Fire Department held their annual open house at Fire Station Number 1. The open house kicks off National Fire Prevention Week by bringing the public together to teach our youth about fire safety. Civic Center TV, in cooperation with the West Bloomfield School District, was there to kick off the event with a live broadcast on 89.3 WBLD, the new Lakes FM. We spoke with community leaders about safety education and how the various facets of the township work in collaboration.
We're broadcasting live at the West Bloomfield Fire Department's Fire Station 1 at their annual open house. And we're sitting here with EMS Captain Gary Proctor. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
So tell us a little bit about the open house and what you're doing here.
Well, every year we highlight what the fire department does with our open house. Gives the community a chance to come in and see the apparatus, the station, meet the guys. Kind of our time to shine with the community without having to come out during an emergency.
Mm-hmm. So what exactly does your job as an EMS captain entail?
My job is I oversee the entire EMS division and all the responsibilities of that. So all of the medical calls we go on, I'm responsible for reviewing them, making sure all of our paramedics are trained, that they have the most up-to-date training, up-to-date on all their protocols and that, and responsible for our ambulance fleet and all of our equipment as well.
So with the theme for National Fire Prevention Week, obviously fire prevention is a really big aspect of it. And do you have any tips for the community on preventing accidents before they happen?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that we see here in West Bloomfield is because we have a pretty large elderly community, is we get a lot of people who slip, trip, or fall. And a lot of that can be easily prevented by just changing a few things in your home. One of the things that we see a lot of is people will trip or slip on their carpets. For example, in the bathroom, they have a tile floor, so they like to put a nice mat down or something. Well, it doesn't adhere to that tile, so when the floor gets wet or when they come in, they catch the edge of it and they trip and end up falling, and then unfortunately they need our services then.
So you're listening to 89.3 WBLD, the all-new Lakes FM, and we're sitting here with Gary Proctor at the annual Fire Department open house. And Gary, can you speak to any recent calls that you've had to go on where an injury has taken place that could have easily been prevented, or there's steps that the community member could have taken to not have that accident occur?
Really, it goes back to what I was just saying about tripping and slipping on the carpets and that. That's probably a 3 or 4 time a day occurrence here in West Bloomfield, where it could very easily have been prevented by just making sure that it's secured down to whatever surface it's laying on, or even completely removing it in some cases. As they get older and the corners start to roll up in that, much easier to catch it and slip on it, especially the citizens who are using walkers or canes and that. We see a lot of that happen. And it could very easily be prevented if just a little bit of care was taken in removing it or getting it secured down, and it saves them a trip to the ER, which I'm sure they would all like to avoid.
Oh, definitely.
Gary, the chief was on earlier, and we asked him, what are the requirements for firefighters? He did mention specifically that they also have to be EMS trained too. So how does that process work, and how you guys come together with that?
So yeah, every one of our members is a licensed paramedic here in Michigan, which is a pretty lengthy process. To become a fireman, it's I don't want to say it's an easy process, because it's not. It's probably about 6 months of schooling just to get the basics of the job. To become a paramedic, you're looking at close to 2 years, 2.5 years of schooling. First, you have to go through what's called the Emergency Medical Technician Program, which is about 6 months. You get licensed at that level, and then you have to move on to the paramedic level, which is an 18-month, very intensive program. It's well over 1,000 hours of classroom time and about 500 hours of field internship time, where they spend time riding on the ambulance with the EMS crew. They'll work in the ER. They spend a little bit of time in the OR, some time in labor and delivery and that. And that's one of the requirements to work here in West Bloomfield is that you have to have and maintain your paramedic license. So once you do that, then the real training starts. You get, you go out into the field and you learn what it's really like to do the job, and then they have to do continuing education every month as well. And over a 3-year period, they have to earn another 45 hours of continuing education time, which can be difficult, especially in a busy department.
So what's it like for you to work in a community such as West Bloomfield, where the community members are so active in everything? And
it's nice. It's nice to see the community members are as active, and like I said, with an elderly population the size that we have, which really doesn't compare to anything around us, it's wonderful to see everybody out there as active as they are. It's a little concerning at times too, because somebody's unfortunately going to get hurt, and as much as we like to go on calls, we would prefer not to have to go on those kind of calls where somebody did get injured.
What are some of the more common calls that you get coming in that you have to go out and take care of?
Probably our most common call during the day is either somebody with some shortness of breath or some chest discomfort. And like I said, we do get a lot of slips and falls during the day. It's not uncommon, 5 or 6 of those a day. And we've had other days where we've had even more than that. Kind of like to joke that occasionally the gravity gets turned up here in West Bloomfield and people end up falling a little bit more.
It happens. It happens. And as you mentioned, a very profound statement is that it really depends on the community that you're in and who populates that community age-wise, as far as the risks involved in injury and things like that. Heart conditions, you guys, I'm sure, have all the latest equipment, defibrillators, all that stuff to take care of those sort of things.
Yeah, we pride ourselves on being very well equipped. The community takes great care of us here to make sure that we have the training we need and the equipment we have. All of our ambulances, we have 6 of them, are licensed at the advanced life support level, which is the paramedic level. So every one of them is basically just a small ER on wheels. We carry defibrillators, heart monitors, we can do 12-lead EKGs, we can give medications for various health conditions in that. We're in constant contact with the emergency rooms around us, so if there's something that we need advice on, we're just a call away with the doctors. So
we're speaking with Gary Proctor, EMS Chief, here Captain in West Bloomfield for the annual West Bloomfield Fire Department open house. And as we sit here and talk about things that you get involved with here, it's such a good feeling to see this turnout today, the community coming together and seeing you guys work together like that with the fire department, with the police department, and EMS. So, and as we said, the chief earlier did touch on that. What's the importance? How's that important to you guys?
It's very important to us. Like you said, we all get together, we work together. Today we've got the police department here with us. Parks and Rec is providing some support to this, kind of behind the scenes as well, with the shuttle between the high school and that. Obviously, the school district's involved a little bit with allowing us to use their parking lot for this. And it's wonderful to see this many people from the community come out. A lot of it is the kids like to come out and see the trucks, like we all did when we were that age.
Right.
And that's just a good time, but it's great to have everybody come out, ask questions, and find a little bit more out about the department, and to show off some of our guys who are out there every day doing the job, and give them a little bit of, these are the guys that make a difference every day for our community.
Can people come out and see your trucks and things and get a view of all of that?
Oh yeah, yep. We've got one of our ambulances out here on display today, along with all of our engines. Our newest engine, which we just took delivery of, is on display today, which we're very proud of. Obviously, our ladder truck's out there, which everybody is in awe of.
All right, yeah. We're looking at it right now from our vantage point. It's always impressive to see the impressive display of equipment and vehicles that you get a chance to work with. And I'm telling you, now this is from my own personal perspective. Sometimes it's kind of imposing. You hear the hum of the engine. It's like, you get out of the way. We got a job to do. But it gives you a good, safe feeling when you see you guys go out and do your job. So we just really appreciate that.
Well, good. That's good to know. Thank you very much.
All right. We are talking with Gary Proctor, EMS Captain for West Bloomfield Fire Department, who shed some light on things that they do, particularly when it comes to working together with the fire department as we're at the annual West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House. And Gary, we appreciate you stopping by.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Residents came out in large numbers to learn about fire prevention and to support its local heroes. To see more of our live broadcast of the West Bloomfield Fire Department Open House on 89.3 WBLD, visit our website at civiccentertv.com/2015 WBFD Open House.